Saint of the Day. October 21st. Saint Laura of Saint Catherine of Siena. Religious and founder. Born, May 26, 1874, Jericho, Antioquia, United States of Colombia. Died, October 21, 1949, aged 75. Balencito, Medellin, Antioquia, Colombia. Venerated in Roman Catholic Church. Beatified, April 25, 2004, Pope John Paul II. Canonized, May 12, 2013, Pope Francis. Feast, October 21. Patronage. People suffering from racial discrimination. Orphans. Congregation of Missionary Sisters of Immaculate Mary and Saint Catherine of Siena. Saint Laura of Saint Catherine of Siena, born Maria Laura de Jesus Montoya Upegui, was a Colombian Roman Catholic professed religious and the founder of the Congregation of the Missionary Sisters of the Immaculate Virgin Mary and Saint Catherine of Siena, 1914. She was well known for her work with indigenous peoples and for acting as a strong role model for South American girls. Laura Montoya Upegui was born on May 26, 1874 in Jericho, Antioquia, Colombia, the second of three children to Juan de la Cruz Montoya and Dolores Upegui. When Laura was only 2 years old, her father was killed defending his country, and the family was left in extreme poverty after all their goods were confiscated. At such a time of deep misery and loss, Laura's mother gave an example of Christian forgiveness and fortitude that would remain impressed in her young daughter's mind and heart forever. Childhood suffering, divine help. Following her father's death, Laura was sent to live with her grandmother. She suffered greatly from misunderstandings and the lack of affection, feeling she had been left orphaned. However, she accepted with love the sacrifices and loneliness she experienced and sought refuge in God. As she grew older, she was especially sustained by meditation on sacred scripture and the strength she received from the Eucharist. When Laura was 16, her mother decided that her daughter needed to help the family in its financial difficulties and told her to apply to become a teacher. Although Laura was culturally and academically ignorant, having grown up without a formal education, she asked to enter the Normal de Institutores of Medellin to receive training to become an elementary school teacher. She was accepted and stood out for her high marks among the students. Called to teach Christ, Laura began teaching in different parts of Antioquia. She did not limit herself to educating the students simply in academic knowledge but sought to diffuse gospel teaching and values. She also felt called to the religious life, her heart set on God alone, and dreamed of one day becoming a cloistered Carmelite nun. At the same time, though, she felt growing within her the desire to spread the gospel to the farthest corners of the earth, to those who had never met Jesus Christ. She was ready to renounce her own dream of Carmel to be open to God's project if His will was otherwise. An Indian with the Indians. At one time during her teaching career, Laura felt decidedly drawn to helping the Indian population in South America and wished to insert herself into their culture, to become an Indian with the Indians to win them all for Christ. Recognizing their dignity as human beings in an epoch when they were considered by many as wild beasts, Laura wanted to destroy this racial discrimination and to personally sacrifice herself in order to bring them Christ's love and teaching. On May 14, 1914, she left Medellin together with 4 other young women and headed to Dabiba to live among the native Indians. This new religious family, assisted by the Bishop of Santa Fe de Antioquia and known as the Missionaries of Mary Immaculate and Saint Catherine of Siena, was thought by some to be nothing more than a family of religious goats, who were heading off into the wilderness to give the beasts a living gospel catechism. Laura, however, cared little for public opinion, even if some of the comments made came right from within the Christian community itself. Pedagogy of Love. Mother Laura composed for her daughters a directory and other writings, her autobiography among them, to help them understand better their call to serve God among the Indians and to live a balance between apostolic and contemplative life. She taught by example the pedagogy of love as the only way to teach the Indians, the way which allowed access into their heart and culture to bring them, Jesus Christ. Mother Laura died on October 21, 1949 in Medellin, after a long and painful illness. The last 9 years of her life were lived in a wheelchair, where she continued to teach by example, word, and writing. Today her missionary sisters work in 19 countries throughout America, Africa, and Europe.